Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster Perfect Stats Guide. So we took care of the Imperial Banquet in the last video there, and we need to head on over here to the Imperial, what is this? Observation Post. So we're going to raid this joint, and there's quite a bit of good stuff here. If I remember it correctly. Alright, so there's the flame tongue that's hidden in the pot. X potion, angel wings, some money, high ether, Hermes sandals, reflect ring, 13k, 20k, elixir, alarm earring, angel ring, and an elixir. So yeah, a lot of good stuff there. Now, I wanted to point one thing out here. We get the alarm earring, and I think actually we got one prior to the banquet there in Vector. And the alarm earring prevents back attacks and pincer attacks, which is amazing. For a very brief amount of time, it was also preventing the pincer attacks that were forced. So, on the Velt, for instance, and there's a teleport stone there, by the way, grab that. But yeah, on the Velt, we run into a lot of the battles, that we've obviously, well, I should say a lot of the formations that we've, come across in the game. And one of those battles is the one at the very beginning of the game with the two guards and then the Silver Lobo. And it's always a pincer attack, and for a brief amount of time, the alarm earring was actually preventing that as well, and so it was forcing it, to be more of a normal battle. Unfortunately, though, it looks like that was an error, and so now, the alarm earring doesn't prevent that. So again, if you're fighting on the Velt, that formation will be back to being even if you've got the alarm earring on, it'll still be a pincer attack. Which, honestly, I think that's actually really annoying. I'm not really sure why they insisted on, making that change. I don't know. I think that, it really reduces the effectiveness of that. I mean, that said, though, it's still really, really good. When we're normally doing or going through an area, it still is a really, really useful relic. It's just, I don't know. I don't really know why they insisted on, having that not be the case for those specific fights that are, maybe for the first time, okay, sure, but right and especially that one at the very beginning of the game, you're on the, as you're going through Narsh, it makes sense, right? Because they are attacking you from, ahead of you and from behind you. Like, that makes sense, but when you're on the Velt, I don't know. I kind of feel like you probably could have gone with, having that actually not be a pincer attack anymore. But, I don't know. Small gripe, but yeah, still a gripe nonetheless. So, all right, we're going to head on over to Thamasa now, and Locke and Celeste are still not really talking to each other. Celeste still hurt that Locke kind of questioned her loyalty there briefly, and I think understandable. But all right, so we are going to arrive in the morning. All right, so I like these scenes here coming up too. Terra's trying to come to terms with the fact that she's part human, part Esper. So here she, has a little conversation with Leo, who I think, gives her at least some hope as far as what's happening. Here, I don't really understand here. He says, so I hear your emotions have returned. I guess that sort of makes sense. I guess maybe I'm just having a problem with returned, right? They were just being suppressed, is my understanding. It wasn't like, I don't know. Maybe that still kind of on some level makes sense. Maybe I'm just annoyed with the wording. But yeah, here Leo does say, he basically admits he knows what was happening to Terra and did nothing. Yeah, they there is something actually there's a big criticism of Leo in that fact. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, sitting by while a wrong is being done to somebody, like, yeah, I think on some level that does make you maybe not equally responsible, but at the end of the day, I don't know, do we really care about quantifying how wrong it was versus the one actually committing it? I don't know, but either way, not really impressive of the warrior's warrior, as he's been referred to as. But yeah, so Terra asks essentially if Leo thinks she will ever be able to love somebody. And what does he say? Something like, "You're young, and yeah, of course you will." But also, yeah, I mean, obviously she's proof that a human can love an Esper and vice versa. So why wouldn't, a half Esper, half human be able to, love, I guess, a human? So, yeah, no reason to believe, otherwise. Here, even Shadow kind of comes out to, I suppose, comfort Terra there on... Or, no, that's more of a warning, right? He says something about, some people have chosen to kill their feelings, something to that effect. And yeah, I mean, obviously Shadow is referring to himself. And yeah, I think that that's a really good bit of dialogue there from him. Here, I think they changed this dialogue here too. I could have swore at some point Locke says something to Shadow, like, something to the effect of, essentially, you better keep your mouth shut about this. Not those exact words, but I could have swore he said something to Shadow there. But anyways, all right. So the plan here is to head to Thamasa, learn what we can, and try to track down the Espers. And here Celeste at least, reaches out, I suppose, to Locke to try to speak with him. And he just kind of ignores her this time around. So, I suppose she did that to him, and then he has returned the favor, essentially, which, I don't know, man. I guess grow up a little bit. But, alright, so here's our levels. Yeah, Locke at 7, Shadow is 6, Terra 6. And, unfortunately, because of the change, or the patch from the 28th, they force all that experience on us in the minecart. And so, unfortunately, again, there's no way to get Setzer then at level 5 like we were able to. Even gaining a single level on the minecart ride is what messes up the average and brings our party average up to 6. So, a little depressing, honestly. I really thought that was really cool there briefly, where, I mean, sure, I suppose if it wasn't intended for us to be able to run away from the the Magna Rotors, fine, I guess, patch it or whatever. But honestly, what I think I would rather have seen is, if they're going to patch that, make it so that they don't give us experience at all. That's almost generally the way that everything works out in this game is, all of the bosses don't give experience. And so, when we're forced into battles like this, it seems like it makes sense to me that then, okay, don't give us experience then. And, again, that whatever. It's the way it's always functioned, but, for perfect stats and whatnot, I don't know. I just wish that they would have, either not given us experience at all, or, still let us maybe run away. I suppose, though, running away from battles on a minecart probably doesn't really make that much sense, though. So, again, I think maybe, going with 0 experience would have been better, or a better option. But, oh well. So, again, unfortunately, that means that, Setzer joins at 6 instead of 5, and then Strago will, again, unfortunately, join us at 7 or 8 instead of 7. And, Yeah, we just have to also be really careful actually with the flame eater fight itself, right as of right now. Again, maybe they'll actually fix that as well, because again, I think if they're going, to continue to make these changes to bring this version of the game more in line with other versions, well, then they need to fix the flame eater fight as well. They need to make sure that that doesn't give us experience, but again, as of right now, it does, and so you have to be pretty careful about how we finish that battle. I mean, and what I mean by that is basically everybody needs to be alive for it. So, anyways, all right. We are in Thamasa. Definitely run around and grab the items. I think, and don't quote me, but I think those items disappear in the world of Ruin. So grab that stuff now. And here again, we're speaking with Strago and Realm, and there's an obvious connection, I think, between Interceptor and Realm and Shadow, and we learn about that more later, but yeah, it's I guess the first hint where it's like, oh yeah, okay, there's something going on here that we don't quite know about, but Strago is playing it dumb. Pretty much everybody actually is here. They're pretending that they don't know anything about magic, and when you speak to people like the like the elder, for instance, he basically just straight up lies to you and says that what's magic? I've never heard of that. And then also there's the two hints around town there with the little boy playing with fire, which there's a little foreshadowing there. But also the lady and the hurt child who, the kid is asking her mother to cast Cure on her. And the mother plays it off like, no, it's, just medicine or whatever. It's, looking for my medicine cabinet. Here's the hidden memento ring. There are actually 3 of those in the entire game. And it shows the connection, I believe, between Shadow and Realm. But yeah, in that, so those 2 are the only characters that can use that memento ring. Realm actually comes with one equipped, and yeah, I interesting way to, I should say, interesting additional way to give a little hint as to their connection. But all right, so Strago busts into the inn and essentially throws Locke out of bed. And yeah, apparently, what does he say there? Realm was on fire, and then she ran into the house or something like that. And here, I don't know, Shadow, is he just ignoring us? It looks like, he responds at least to Locke, like he's awake, and then yeah, gets up and notices that Interceptor's gone. So kind of a jerk move to not help us out, but yeah, I don't know. So I grabbed everything here already. One thing that I did in my original video that I kind of didn't, or I forgot to do in this one, was to show you that right now Shadow's level is actually being factored into, or yeah, Shadow's level is being factored in regards to Strago. Not that it really matters, and even before, when the minecart stuff, was not giving us experience, it didn't actually matter. Shadow's level there, and you do want, obviously we want to have Shadow at 6 at this point, but even again, prior to the fixes that they made the other day, his level being 6 was fine, and so Strago was actually still joining at 7 instead of 8. But again, unfortunately, because it's funny too how it's like a cascade of events where a couple extra levels on the minecart. Okay, well, so then that pushes up Setzer's average, which then pushes up everybody else's. So it's just kind of funny. Obviously, that's that's just how it's working with the way the game averages your levels and how people, or that's what I should say, people's initial level is calculated, based off of your average. So again, unfortunately though, that at the point where it's probably obvious when Setzer's level is getting pushed up to 6, well then he's joining directly at your party average, and then Strago joins here at your party average +2. And so again, you know, after Setzer joins at 6, it's like, okay, well, yeah, it's done then, and boom, the average is now 6, and there's no way to bring it under that. So unfortunately, yeah, like I said, pretty annoying, or I was really annoyed at that change, and you know, I suppose at least I was able to take advantage of it briefly. One kind of interesting thing as well that, you know, again, won't be possible anymore, but I still have a file saved right before this where, you know, nobody has taken any experience whatsoever. So again, my party average is still 5. And the interesting thing will be if they ever fix Flame Eater so that it doesn't give experience. What I'll actually be able to do is go through here on that old file, you know, with you know, Locke is still 5, Terra's 5, Setzer's 5, so on and so forth. And if they ever fix Flame Eater, that'll actually mean that I can get Realm at 5 instead of 6. But again, even, you know, because the problem is a single level in the Flame Eater fight was messing up my my levels, and so then, you know, Realm would be forced to 6. But again, you know, I've got my fingers crossed for potentially a day in the future where they actually fix the Flame Eater fight here and don't give us experience for it, but we'll see. So anyways, at this point, pretty important, put Bismarck on Locke and Zone Seeker on Terra. Again, for the Flame Eater fight, unfortunately, because there's a bunch of experience that will be forced to get there. What you actually want to do is spread that out. There was also a way kind of before to do this a little bit better as well. And what I mean by that is what I would actually do is kill off Strago and Terra to take all of the experience on Locke, but that's not possible anymore. The way that this works now is you need to only gain 2 levels here. And I don't know if it's possible to and I can't remember now, if it's possible to take 2 levels on Strago. So like if you knock out Terra and Locke, you know, you could dump on all of those levels onto Strago, but I don't know. I don't know if he'll still gain 3, and that's the problem. Again, we can only gain 2 levels here. And I think that it just makes the most sense to keep everybody alive and dump off the experience on Locke and Terra. Now, here what I've done is open up this door. Now, you can avoid all of these balloons, and I definitely recommend doing that. And the reason why is I didn't want these formations because it's a formation with 6 balloons or 3 balloons, I believe it is. Let me just check, and I want to see where this ends up. Okay, so pack 20. Yes. Okay, so pack 20 has got the Imperial elites from the banquet, and I wanted to see them more often. The problem is there's one fight that we've already grabbed. That's the Lich, Provoker, and Terry's. That's from the Esper, or the Cave to the Sealed Gate. So that fight is in there, as well as the Imperial Elite ×3. So again, there's only 2 formations in pack 20 right now, and I wanted to keep it that way. You know, unfortunately, again, the 3 balloon fight from here, again, if you interact with one of these flames and end up getting into a battle with them, you'll either run into 3 balloons or 6. And again, those 2 formations end up in pack 20, which I didn't want to do because I wanted to see Imperial elites more often and thus be able to get more Magicite. So what we do instead, because we want a full rage list for Gao, is we want to get the 4 balloon pack, and that ends up in pack 52. So that's my recommendation. Grab the ice rod, and then there's a flame rod. I believe it is, or did I get it backwards? Is this the ice rod here? Yeah, okay, there's the ice rod. And yeah, we'll continue on here. And again, just make sure that you're not getting into any battles with these flames. So, all right, that's all the time I got. So as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.